Hey there guys, Jason here, and today I'm going to be talking about A Silent Voice by Yoshitoki Oima. Originally published in Japan between August of 2013 and November of 2014, it was collected into 7 volumes for its English release by Kodansha. I first heard about this through CJ vs. Manga. She was doing a monthly pickup video and she talked about it there briefly. So I picked up the first 2 volumes and it was fantastic. I went ahead and looked into it just because I knew it was going to be a shorter series, and it was definitely worth that checking it out. But the story itself is actually pretty deep and involved. It starts off in grade school with Shoya Ishida, and he's kind of the class clown. Everyone kind of likes him. Everyone thinks he's funny, and he's got this amount of popularity built up, and it kind of changes, the dynamic of the classroom changes when this young girl, Shoko Nishimiya, actually transfers in, and she has a disability. Shoko is deaf, and no one at that age kind of knows how to deal with that or be around a person with a disability. So immediately she's kind of an outcast in a sense. Everyone's a little cautious of her. No one knows what to do around her. But Shoya decides to, try and, be the popular guy in class, really, and he starts to pick on her, and eventually, people kind of laugh at, like, oh, he's making noises at her and she can't hear him, or he's, poking her and stuff. Just random little kid things at first, but eventually it becomes more impactful and just becomes bullying, because one of the big moments is he actually steals her hearing aid, and that's kind of where the line is crossed and things start to get out of hand, because now not just Shoya is picking on her, it's a couple other people in the class are just being really rude and mean to her, and it eventually ends up with the parents and teachers getting involved, saying this is not okay, and Shoko's mother actually takes her out of school and transfers her to another school, and at that moment is kind of when all of the classmates of Shoya realize, oh, he shouldn't have been picking on her, he was in the wrong, and they throw all of the blame on him, even though he wasn't, the only one to do this sort of stuff to her. So it definitely was really hard to read that, to read Shoya admittedly doing wrong, but then being completely thrown under the bus by the class. And all of that happens within the first volume. The rest of the series is all about Shoya trying to gain back his pride and finally feel like he's a good person, because he's reflected on this so much that he knows he did wrong, and he is tired of people hating him. He's tired of people thinking poorly of him, and he wants to make amends for what he did. So he even goes to the length of learning sign language, so that way he can talk to Shoko and try and know who she is and learn about her life. And it really is a fascinating story to see how this former bully feels guilty about what he's done, to the point of trying to devote his time and effort to understanding the person he bullied and try to help them, and help them be solidified in their life, because Shoko has had a really rough time as well. She's had a very shaky life because of bullying and her disability. People constantly have picked on her, even at other schools. So, Shoya's trying to help her grow through that and find her own strength. And this series just deals with so many heavy topics. It deals with bullying, obviously. It shows bullying in a very real, gritty sense. And it also deals with a lot of social anxiety. Shoya deals with that a lot, and that resonated with me because I have social anxiety at times as well. just self-doubt is, another big theme, I would say, in this, and finding the confidence in yourself to go out and be who you are, regardless of what people say. And, depression is kind of an underlying theme of this story as well. So there's just so much material here, and it's so well handled. This series has easily become one of my top favorite series of all time, if not the number 2 or number 1 favorite series of all time. Probably top 5 for sure. I would say maybe top 3. I'm not sure. It's just still digesting, because the 7th volume was just released not too long ago, and I'm still kind of processing that. Because I had an ending built up in my mind of how things would play out, but then volume 7 kind of did its own thing, and it wasn't what I was expecting, so I was a tad disappointed, but it's still a fantastic series overall. I absolutely love it. So for sure, check this out if you're a little bit more of a mature reader. There's nothing inappropriate in this. There's some language here and there, but there's nothing sexual or anything like that. It's just very heavy topics, very in-depth exploration of these themes of, anxiety and depression, and bullying especially. So you need to be a little bit older probably to read this and fully appreciate it, because of the fact that there's a lot of themes that you'll recognize if you're an older reader. I'm 24 years old now, so I've been around somewhat, and I've seen some stuff, obviously, in that time, and I have a better understanding of just how all of the anxiety and depression can affect a person. So it might be good to be more of a mature reader when you go into this, but definitely look into it, because it is fantastic, and really everyone should read this, so that way they can kind of learn to appreciate how to interact with people with disabilities, because they are human too. Just because they may not be able to hear, or maybe even they have a mental disability, they're still human, and they still deserve our love and respect. So definitely look into this. I've rambled on for enough time here, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.